teaching online can feel like a constant grind. Hours at the screen, endless emails, and giving everything that you have to your students. But what if I told you that there are 3 words that completely transformed the way that I teach, work, and live? These 3 words helped me stop overworking, avoid burnout, and finally find joy in my daily life as an online educator. Hey, I'm Ashley Espinosa, and if you have ever felt exhausted or overwhelmed from working and teaching online, then I promise you, you are not alone. For years, I struggled with feeling like all I did was sit and stare at a screen. I was constantly giving and pouring everything I had into my students, and I started to lose sight of my own personal well-being. But then I found 3 words that really shifted everything for me. These became my mantra. I literally have it on a sticker in my planner with me that I use every single day. And it has changed not just my work-life balance, but the way that I approach my career as an online educator. And today I'm going to walk you through each one of them, what they mean to me, examples of how I have used them and how they have completely transformed my life for the better. And the reason why I'm sharing this specific video with you is because a lot of content out there and a lot of coaching out there is about how can we be better educators for our students. But there is not a lot of coaching out there on how we can be better for ourselves, how we can make this thing right here work for us long term. So I hope these 3 mantras inspire you to help change your life for the better if you need it right now as an online educator. The very first mantra that I have completely used to change my life is boundaries. Now, I know you're probably thinking something simplistic, right? Boundaries, when you work online, meaning most of the time you are working from your home, are completely different than the boundaries that you have to set when you are in person with your students and your clients. And you don't know until you know. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you know exactly what I mean. You break those boundaries all the time because there are less boundaries and structure when you are working from home. So one of the first things that I did that was affecting me constantly is set a boundary for my work hours. Now, they're not always going to be exactly the same. It's not always 9 to 5. It's not always going to be in the same location and the same schedule. So for me, what I did was every single month I would sit down and I would create a work hours boundary for myself for that month. And sometimes this does shift during the weeks for me. I travel quite a lot for work. I am an actress and a musical theater performer. And so I go between New York and LA and all in between for different jobs. And I have to know that that's flexible. But setting work start and end times will completely transform how you approach your job. And what I mean by that is completely shutting everything down. Shutting down your computer, shutting down your phone, shutting down any technology that you have, any communication with your students. They do not get access to you beyond hours. All of the folks that I work with now are 18 and over, and most of them are all, generally over the age of 30 and all the way up into their 80s. And so it doesn't matter what age you are. When you start working with someone like this in a more intimate, personal level, they're seeing you in your home or in your workspace and vice versa. It really does shift the relationship. So if you have stop and start hours and be very clear about that, then not only do they know you're not available for a follow-up email or a quick communication message or anything or an extra session, then that also will alleviate any stress and anxiety that you have to respond immediately and quickly. Another boundary that I set is being intentional about responding to emails. I sit down and the first thing in the morning that I do is I go through all of my emails and I reply back to the ones that are priority that need to be responded to at that moment. And I also got really good at letting go of the idea that the email needs to be this all-encompassing, like start to finish properly worded document. It really doesn't. It can be professional, absolutely, but it doesn't need to read like a full, "Hi, how are you today? I am good." Sometimes a student or a client just needs a response to answer that question and to know immediately that, yes, that's the answer I need, or let me get back to you in a week. So it's about being intentional with the way that you respond to your emails. Another boundary that you might encounter is the difference of being in an actual room with somebody and the level of professionalism that comes with that, like a classroom or an office, And then how it shifts and changes when you're personally in home. A lot of the times I am, in my home office. If you go back and look at my videos, you can probably see when I am in my California home, which has a full office, versus my East Coast home. This is an office room in the building that I live in on the East Coast. So it does feel more professional. But a lot of the times we're sitting in our home and it may not be a room that you have that's dedicated. And the dogs are barking and somebody's coming into your house and the lawnmower is going off. And this creates a completely different level for us that doesn't feel professional. And so having boundaries when you are on that call with somebody, that you can make it very clear that, hey, we're not just in my kitchen or my living room. This is a professional working environment. You have to set that boundary internally for yourself, emotionally, and also physically. If you do not feel comfortable and you're sitting at your kitchen table and they're seeing your home, then what can you do behind you to make you feel more professional? You feel, not them. I'm not talking about them. I have all kinds of videos and content about that. But what will make you feel more professional? Right now, as I film this, I look professional up on top, right? I have yoga pants on and tennis shoes, and you would never know it, but that's okay because I am comfortable, but I feel professional even filming this, and I have calls right after I film this video with clients of mine. So set a boundary where you still feel professional, just as if you were in person with your clients. Another boundary that I have to set with my clients, which is focused on helping musical theater performers move forward in their career and helping artists create an online presence, is the idea behind a point of the conversation turning into something that is not my specialty. So I work with a lot of folks, and a lot of the conversations tend to be somewhat therapeutic. And I'm sure you understand this as well, someone that's an educator and a mentor and a teacher, that a lot of times that therapeutic therapy side of it comes in, mental, emotional health. We are not trained to navigate that. And at some point, I am sure that you have had to have an experience where you do the best you can for that person in that moment. But having a boundary to say, I hear you, and you know what? I really want you to reach out for help to someone that specializes in this, that can give you everything that you need, that's trained in that field. And that's just not me. So let's find someone that will help you, that can help you right now. That may be a starting point, our conversation. Or just having a boundary to say, you know what, this is shifting in something that's just not my specialty. Maybe I can offer you a few referrals, but you know what, how can I get back and help you the best I can today on the topic at hand for our session today or for our class today? That boundary is so important for you because this can turn into a very personal working relationship. And that can be hard on you and take a toll on you emotionally. And I know you feel that. So it's okay to set boundaries and say, you know what, that's outside of my specialty and outside of the work that I do. Let me see if I can refer you to someone that can help you with that specific thing. Another boundary that I have with my clients is going over my time. Ooh, I'm so bad about this because I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do with my clients and my students. But if I continue to go over the times that we have set, both whether it's a class or whether it's just a one-on-one session, then I am starting to take away time that I have for myself to refill my coffee cup, to take a break, to take a brain break, to go outside and look out the window, to do something else, to respond to emails. You have to set boundaries. There's no bell dinging. You have to be the bell that dings. Our time is up for today, class. I hope everything was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you know how to contact me in my hours or via email. Or the next class, I'll answer any questions that you have. You have to set those boundaries. One thing I find really helpful for is saying, okay, we have 5 minutes left. Let's do any wrap up. Any questions that anyone has today, anything you'd like to ask about, here are the action plans for the next time I see you together. Giving yourself those 5 minutes really does help rather than going to the very, very last time. And people have things to do. People have other appointments all the time. You have other appointments all the time. So boundary, stick to your time schedule. The next word that has become a mantra for me as an online educator to keep me from burning out, to keep me from losing my mind, to keep me focused and healthy in this career is body scan. Now, not a lot of people talk about this, but we sit for hours and hours staring at this screen that I am staring at right now and this screen that I'm staring at right now. And it can start to really affect you physically. So something that I do is I've been saying to myself, okay, quick body scan check. Okay, and here are a couple of great examples when that might happen. The first example is you start to lean towards the camera, right? So you're pretty far away from me, but if I'm using my camera on my computer, you start to lean in because you feel like if I lean in closer to them, that's going to make them think that I'm better, that I can reach them. No, okay? Do a body scan check-in and just ask yourself, are you aligned? Is your head, neck, and shoulders all in one place? Even now, as I just did this, I noticed that I was leaning forward a bit. So head, neck, and shoulders, all aligned. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that I'm not aligned. I am completely, if I turned you sideways right now, I'm completely leaning forward, okay? But I need to make sure that my head, neck, and shoulders are in line so that my back is not killing me by the end of the day, okay? That is the most important part about teaching online, is checking in with our body. The next one is, am I hydrated? Am I drinking too much coffee? Have I got too much caffeine? Am I hopping up on it? Do I need to have some tea instead? Do I need some water? Do I need to slow down for a second because I'm a little anxious with perhaps this class or this client, or I'm nervous about something? Am I absorbing their energy? And so do I need to take a second and just do a body scan? And you can do this even in your mind. Am I too tense? Where am I tense? Can I relax? I do this all the time with specific clients. Not because it's a bad client. It's just a client that I'm absorbing their energy, good, bad, and different. And I just want to check in with myself, even if I'm listening to them and I'm still engaged in what we're working on, or in class. I'm nervous. Maybe I'm in class and doing something different that I haven't tried before online. And so I'm just going to take a quick body scan, and I'm literally doing it in this moment. And it brings me down. And then it also will help me at the end of the day when I'm done go, okay, I'm not completely crunching my neck. Another body scan moment is in between calls. Or classes. I always make sure that I have 15 minutes, and I set this up in my system, in my scheduling system, in my booking system, and in my own class schedule, is that I have 15 minutes between each call so that I can get up and I can move. Now, and not just move, but reset my brain, look outside the window. But here is my biggest tip for you regarding body scan that's not just going to help you physically, but also going to help you mentally and emotionally. If you can get a stand-sit desk, I am not kidding you, it changed my life. So I am in a conference room right now in my building on the East Coast, and I don't have access to that. So today I won't have a stand-sit desk, but in my space on both my West Coast and my East Coast place that I stay at, I have a stand-sit desk. One is super tiny because in the East Coast, most of our places here are very small. So I have a very small desk that is stand-sit desk. I got it from West Elm. I absolutely love it. It's not on wheels or anything. It's very small, but it also allows me the space to tuck away all of my items underneath it at the end of the day. And then in my California home, which you probably saw in my old YouTube videos if you've been following me for a while, but my office there has a stand-sit desk that is massive. It's like high quality, high end. I'll link what it is down in the description box below. I'm not an affiliate with them, but if you want to see what it is, I love that desk. It's huge, it's massive, but standing and going back and forth between standing and sitting has changed just the way I move during the day, and not feeling stagnant and just sitting and all that energy just going down. And it also, I've noticed, helps a lot of my clients. My clients have started standing, and my students sometimes, they feel free to go, yeah, I do need to stand. I will feel more energetic if I stand. I'll feel more engaged at moments. So think about getting that if it's an option for you. And then in between classes and sessions, giving yourself a moment to reset, a moment to literally go outside, open the window, get a cup of coffee, just as if you were in person, giving yourself that in between like water cooler moment. If you can play with your dogs or say hi to your kids if you have kids, or your partner or anybody, your roommates, whatever it may be, just to break that up and to break the distance with your eyes up by even looking away or looking outside and having a little bit of engagement with another human being in person. The next mantra word that has changed my life as an online educator is business mindset. Now, hear me out on this. This was a game changer for me, both when I worked for someone else and when I was a professor for almost a decade, and now when I jump and forth back between classes for workshops, specifically for what I do in musical theater. But now that I work completely on my own, having a business mindset and telling myself that this is not just a job, this is a career, has dramatically affected the way that I approach my day as a human being and as an educator, so that I don't burn out, I don't feel overwhelmed, and I'm not giving every single thing that I have to my clients and my students and leaving nothing left over for myself. I started prioritizing my time, charging my worth, and focusing on systems that helped me create a sustainable long-term career as an online educator. I also stopped saying yes to every project. And that's something that happens at first, right? We say yes and. It's a very acting driven term, if you will. But yes and is not always going to be helpful or beneficial to you. And if you are backing yourself up, bam, 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 with classes and sessions, and you're working so many hours that you are not able to have a life outside of teaching, I don't care how much money you make, you will not be a happy human in the end. And I can say that because I did it. I literally made the most money I'd ever made when I was a professor. And I realized after a couple years that money did not make me happy at all, because I was so miserable with the institution. I was so miserable in my daily job and the pressures and the toxicity that came with it. But that is academia, and that was my experience. You can have that same experience and negativity and unhappiness when you work on your own. I've seen it happen to people all the time. So sometimes you can make less money, but have a more fruitful life and experience by shifting the systems that you do, the way that you work, and the accessibility that people have to you that you're working with. Constantly saying to yourself, oh, this client reached out to me, they emailed me, I need to respond back to them right now. No, 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 no. No, you do not. They can wait until you are back working that day or the next day. It is okay. I promise you, the world will not end. They will be okay when you are able to respond to them in a timely manner. The next big shift that I made for myself from a business mindset is to create systems. And I've done this both as an academic professor and also on my own with my own classes and programs and one-on-one coachings that I do. This does take time. So if you are doing something like scheduling meetings, or you're just scheduling, they're signing up for your class or on your own, or if you have office hours, how can you create a system so that they have your calendar link, they have access to how they can sign up, you set it all up, and then all you have to do is, here's the link, they click it, they pay, or they click it, they enroll, or they click it and they sign up for your office hours, and then you get it on your calendar and you're like, great, who am I seeing today? Perfect, what are we talking about? Awesome, great, here's my link to the Zoom link, click on. That took me a long time to figure out, but now I have that system locked in, and it has changed the back and forth communication with all of my clients because they have access to it and can easily get what they need with how I have set it up for them. I'm at the point now where I also always ask myself, does this job, this project, this client, this class, this program, whatever it may be online, does it align with my goals right now? And every chapter in your life is going to be a bit different. Sometimes your goal may be, I need to make more money. I need to get more clients right now in this phase of my work as an online educator. I need to get people to enroll in my course if you are even at the academic level. You have to ask yourself, does that align with you right now? Is it what you need? And sometimes money is, not just sometimes, many times money is a factor into that. But you could also ask yourself, will this align with my business and my strategy and where I want to move to next? And I have turned many people down on working on certain projects that reach out to me about, trying to help them build a Canvas course or trying to help them, build the back end of some type of online something. And I'm just like, it doesn't align with the work that I want to do right now. Here's some of the people that may help, or I'm sorry, I'm not able to help you. And that's okay. You can't do everything at every time. You can't be everything to everyone. If you go big, if you go broad, you often go broke in this industry of online education. You need to be known for what you do, and every single question that you have, that you ask yourself, needs to say, is this aligned with my business goals? It's a business mindset. And sometimes we have to say to clients, listen, I'm more than happy to spend another 30 minutes with you. We're already at time, but I will need to bill you for that. Is that okay with you? Business mindset first. These 3 words, boundaries, body scan, business mindset, have completely changed the way that I work and live. They have truly helped me build a life that I absolutely love at the same time as being an actress and a performer. So if you're struggling with balance or burnout, I hope this was inspirational and helpful for you. And what about you? What's the one thing that you maintain to have a good, healthy work-life balance that you found helpful? Let me know down in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more online teaching tips and tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.